What's your vision for programming at the August Wilson Center?
Well, the vision and the mission of the programming of the August Wilson Center is really simple. It's to animate the mission of the center, and that is to celebrate, present, and explore the African American experience, both locally in this area as well as throughout the world. The Fellows is our commitment. The fellowship program is a one-year program where we selected 6 individuals to spend a year working on a project that they self-identified. And Pittsburgh Foundation did give us funding for this, as well as 2 other funders. And it is a multidisciplinary project. As you can see, the 2 fellows who are not here today, one is a filmmaker and the other is a visual artist. Because in addition to our presenting programs, which is multidisciplinary performing arts, we also have a visual arts component. And I like to think that the August Wilson Center is committed to, the presentation, the exploration, and the celebration of African American arts, history, and culture. So it's the performing arts, it's the visual arts, it's culture, it's history. It includes education programs as well as public programs.
And can you tell us a little bit about the space? I mean, we'll have an opportunity later in the evening to tour the facilities, but can you talk about the idea of having all of these different art forms within one building?
Yeah, the idea of having both a performing arts and a visual arts component to this cultural center was really led by Neil Barclay, who was the former president and CEO, as well as the founding board members of the organization. From my understanding, the initial idea was for this to be a museum. And after a feasibility study and after touring other culturally specific museums throughout the country, they realized that there was a missing component, and that was presenting. And to have both of them under one roof would give more opportunities to visitors to the center, as well as to provide a stronger foundation and platform for supporting the tremendous art that is here, artists and art organizations that are here. So we have 2 museum quality exposition spaces, gallery spaces in the building, one on the first floor and second floor. You're in the education center. We have a studio which functions as a multi-purpose room. It's truly a multi-purpose room. It can be used for anything, but it's also equipped to hold performances. And then we have the theater downstairs, which is a mid-sized theater. It's 486 seats. It's fully equipped to handle any type of performance, from dance, to theater, music, anything. So those are the primary spaces within the building.
And part of our goal here is to kind of talk about the state of the arts in terms of trying to understand the impact of the economy and the economic downturn on cultural organizations, arts organizations in Pittsburgh. What strategies has the August Wilson Center used to navigate the rough waters of the economy?
Well, the rough waters of the economy hit us at a very interesting time. It happened right as we were opening the building. Fortunately, most of the funds that were required to get the building finished and open had been secured and were in place. So we were never in jeopardy of not being able to open in September. So that did happen. But moving forward, yeah, of course, we've been hit by it. We did have several national grants from foundations who did not renew because of changes to their programming initiatives, as well as to the limitations that they had in terms of giving money. It also impacted us in terms of going to new funders, because most funders outside of Pittsburgh, they were more concerned about those who were already a part of their portfolio. So even though we had had encouraging conversations from them and had gotten clear indicators that this was a project that they did want to support, once that downturn happened, we fell off of their radar. We fell off of that opportunity. The board and the staff felt it was very important that we did continue with our core mission, and that we did not make too many changes to our programming, being that it was our inaugural year. So we didn't make changes in terms of programming, but where we did have to make changes was with staffing. We have 3 core businesses here. We have a facility that's available for rentals. We have a presenting program, and then we're also a museum. And if we were fully staffed in order to operate at capacity according to all of the studies and works that happened prior to our occupying this building, we would probably have a staff of about 30, 35 people. And we're doing still the work of the 3 core businesses now with a staff of 18. I mean, so I think that's been the biggest impact on us in terms of we're not able to fully develop our staffing needs and requirements as we thought we would have. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can you describe some of the economics of being an independent artist in Pittsburgh? How do you make ends meet in terms of trying to create your work and also pay the bills? And how has that, over the last year and a half, how has that changed with the economic downturn?
Although I'm not an artist, but I'm in conversations with them all the time. And I know very few artists who primary source of income is their art. You know, most of them do have jobs. But as from a management point of view, I think as a manager of an arts organization, I also feel it's our obligation to hire artists. You know, to make sure that if there are part-time jobs available, if there are special projects available, that we go to the arts community first and offer those opportunities to artists.
I'm wondering about the state of experimentation in Pittsburgh. I mean, I think that when things get bad, people sometimes move to a more a safer position where they're doing things that they know will sell or things that they know will, get a response, get a larger audience. And I'm just wondering, like, when you're out there talking to artists, doing your own work, how do you approach experimentation and innovation in your work?
Well, I mean, I think we have a role to play, and that is in, connecting artists with other artists. By our presenting national and international artists here, it provides an opportunity for local artists to see what others are doing, outside of the area. And I think that is absolutely a role that we have to play here, as well as providing an environment for experimentation, providing a safe environment for exploration. And we're just in the beginning stages of that, but I'm really excited about 5 years from now when we are really providing a home and a place for these artists on this stage and artists outside of here to experiment, giving them the time and opportunity, because developing work takes time and it takes resources. And, it's a process. And by now having a place, by now having a space, by now having an organization that's committed to that, that's what we provide. Yeah.
Great.